Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a true honor for us to talk about the youth and how do we get the youth to become the leaders of the future, and especially with regards to financial literacy, financial savvy. And in putting it together, I thought, I want to ask you, did you know the first insurance contract dates back to more than 700 years, in 1347? And that by the next century, maritime insurance have adjusted, and premiums were adjusted depending on the load of the cargo ship and the sum being insured. That was 700 years ago. Yet 700 years later, how much progress has been made in teaching people the value of not only insurance, but financial systems, the solutions and the challenges that people face. 2 words, not enough. Over half of the adult population in South Africa does not understand basic financial concepts, such as interest rates, inflation, savings. In fact, according to National Treasury, only 6 in 100 people will be able to retire comfortably. 6 in 100. The lack of financial literacy is particularly acute in developing countries, and South Africa is no different. Access to financial education is limited. It's no wonder that the older generation struggled to pass on essential knowledge and the benefits of compound interest and planning ahead. In today's much faster world, young people are being trusted and thrust into adulthood at a young age. It's a challenging journey through a highly volatile economy and society where none of the old rules seems to apply. Here's a fact. More than a third of South Africa's population is made up of individuals that are aged between 15 and 34. According to the Association of Savings and Investments in South Africa, the total insurance gap in our country at the end of 2021 was 35 trillion rand. If you apply those stats to the cohort of people under the age of 30, they typically need 2.7 million rand in disability cover if they want to ensure that the household can maintain their standard of living in the event of the breadwinner becoming disabled. On average, in South Africa, that breadwinner is insured, but only by 1 million, leaving a gap of 1.7 million. That is a big amount. That's almost 2/3 of the amount needed. It also represents a significant opportunity for us in this room as leaders, looking at the future leaders, to build a positive brand association with the sizable market, and something we must do in line with their aspirations and their earning potential. Now, the key here is to understand what this audience wants. Or in youth speak, knowing what they vibe with or what they don't vibe with. And to do that, we need to understand who they are, and my panel is going to help us understand that. I have a daughter that's 18 and a son that's 21. I've got personal experience in this regard. That in itself is easier said than done, because this is a market that can't be pigeonholed or put in a box. It's a complicated space in which everyone wants the independence to follow their dreams, but few know how to actually make it happen within a stable and a long-term financial framework. I need to just say that we aren't talking about every person under the age of 36 when I'm repeating these stats. The Liberty research into the youth market has focused on people between 18 and 35 but are earning between 16,000 a month and 60,000 a month. In this space, we're talking about roughly 2.3 million people. People who have a strong chance of leading and becoming the leaders of the future. When looking at this group from a helicopter view perspective, 80% of them are single, have never been married, but less than 20% of them live alone. So they live with other people. 1/3 of this group are single parents, and about 57% of them are women. Roughly half of them have a tertiary education, and 20% of them plan to educate themselves further in order to earn more money. The majority have a private sector job, and many run side hustles, showing they're ambitious, entrepreneurial, looking for ways to grow in new directions and convert their creativity into long-term wealth and security. This group of people have big dreams, wants to achieve big things, and have the flexibility to enjoy their lives. But they need the income and the savings to make this possible. In other words, they're at the perfect stage in their lives to be guided about the power of investing early, driving education and the value of protecting your income, and saving for the future will help build an appreciation of accumulating wealth and protecting wealth. One thing I learned from the founder of Liberty, Sir Donald Gordon, was 2 fundamental financial principles: time in the market and compound interest. If you start to save at 20, you won't have any problems when you get to 65. If we want to help this group to become financially savvy, we need to know where they're spending their money. Now, there's good news. Our research has shown that they are in fact investing, and they're also saving to some extent. This group of individuals shows some trends, and they are split almost equally between male and female, and how they invest their money is as follows. The majority of them invest first time in a car. About 60% of them invest in buying a car. The next big asset that they have is a home. About 25% of them own a property. And then their biggest expense, similar to labor, is their children. Okay, we know that children comes at a great expense, and 1/3 of this group of people have children. Then, what type of insurance do they have? Roughly half of them have funeral and life cover. About a quarter have car insurance, and a quarter have a pension plan or provident fund. This is good news. It tells us that there is a will to save and invest, and there's a desire to protect themselves against life's uncertainties and their possessions against something that may happen. If we can couple this with the guidance to understand the many options available, that's from traditional bank savings account to alternatives like cryptocurrency. We all know the saying that knowledge is power. Behavioral finance will teach us that this leads us to greater confidence in making the right financial choices in life and in business. Thinking about the generations that we all know, the silent generation coming out of the war did as they were told. The baby boomers that followed wanted everything bigger and better, and they literally put a man on the moon. The X's amongst us know that we challenged the status quo. We didn't want to be like our parents and never wanted to comply again with anything, have in turn invented the World Wide Web and other world-changing inventions. However, the generation that grew up with everything that's been invented are the Ys and the Zs. They have grown up with the confluence of the baby boomers' big ideas and the X's ability to make it a reality. This is a generation that believes in a shared economy and is comfortable using Uber and Airbnb rather than owning their own assets. They want simplicity, relatability, the option of direct-to-consumer products, empowerment and financial knowledge, goals or needs-based solutions, and a great customer experience. It is expecting instant results and gratification. So it's not asking much. Time in the market is not something that they want now. Financial services industry is not alone in the challenges that we face. And as advisors to clients have a task to fulfill, facing an audience that doesn't want to be told what to do, they want to be shown through experience. They don't want to constantly be reminded that they aren't where they need to be, but they want to know that it's never too late. They don't want to be talked to and at. They want more useful knowledge about how they can achieve their financial aspirations. And finally, they don't want to feel like they're giving other people control over their money. No, they want the support that enables them to make informed financial decisions themselves. At the same time, this market does not want to be bombarded by human beings. Less human intervention, but more effective relationships, be that human or digital. And although post-COVID there have been many digital solutions, the quality of information is certainly lacking and is sometimes unqualified. What this boils down to is that we no longer simply sell products to this generation. We have to sell through advice that is valuable and relevant. In other words, we have to go back to the heart of what dreams and goals are all about. People, and what motivates them, and how these actions make them feel. In order to connect and build trust with the youth market, as advisors, we need to understand their circumstances without judging. They must be willing to listen. We must be willing to listen, acknowledge, and learn. We need to guide them, not lecture. And they must be informed and educated, but without being patronizing. And as the youth struggle to match their income with their expenses and fit their budgets to their lifestyles, with all the social pressures that are on them, we need to provide them with the right solutions that help them to thrive. We need solutions that suit their digital lifestyles and offer easy access, without using jargon and technical terms. Convenience, gamification, and online engagement are needed both into our marketing efforts, but also our solutions. Through these efforts, our aim is then simple, is to build trust in the industry and greater confidence that partnering with us will help young clients to make the right decisions for their financial future. Succeeding means simply a better generation that will retire and pass on wealth to the next generation. If we do this multiple times, it creates a better economy for everybody to prosper, and we build South Africa one policy at a time. What we're going to look at as a panel is, in more detail, what all of this means for the future of solutions designed for this market, and as well as how we're going to reach them through our marketing efforts.
TM Global Media, going beyond borders.